So students, in the last topic we have learned about what the types of software we have left from this topic, isn't it? So we'll start from this topic itself. So I was about to say there are two types of software, isn't it? Software used to run what? Your hardware, isn't it? Hardware comprises of the physical computers like your CPU, monitor, disk, mouse, printer, etc. Okay, so what are the two types of software? There are two types. First one is system software and second one is our application software. Now system software comprises of two, like operating system, in which all the applications run are known as what? Applications, operating system, and its utilities. Okay, now what are the application software? Application software comprises of various parts. First one is our computer games, spreadsheets. There are various computer games we play, isn't it? So those computer games, all the computer games are known as what? Your application software. Now spreadsheet means what? Excel part. Okay, next access part could be also known as spreadsheets. Next is word processors, databases like SQL is there. Okay, next is your internet browser. This all are what? Your application software. Let's see one by one. Okay, see, first one is our system software. What do you mean by now system software? The system software is a collection of programs which is used to design, to operate, control, and access and extend the processing capabilities of the computer itself. The software products comprises of programs written in low-level languages. Low-level language means what? Machine languages. Okay, which interact with the hardware at a very basic level. Since it has been comprises or written in low-level language, we did not need to convert in any other form. Okay, so directly the machine, it is in a machine language, we did not need to convert in any other language. Okay, so it is very easily we can interact with what? Your hardware in a very basic level. Now system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the end user. Okay, without the system software we could not create the interface between these two. Okay, some of the examples of system software are operating system. The like Windows is there, isn't it? This is what your operating system. Now compilers, interpreters, assemblers, etc. This all are what? Your system software. Now what do you mean by compiler? Okay, it is just a program which is used to convert the instructions into a machine code or a lower level form so that they can be read and executed by the computer. This is known as what? Compiler. Now what do you mean by interpreter? Interpreter converts each high level program statement one by one into the machine code, okay, during the program run, while the compiler also converts, but in a one go it converts. Okay, in interpreter the line by line it is used to convert, our program is being converted. Okay, now what do you mean by assembler? Assembler is a program that translates mnemonics. Mnemonics means what? The human readable form. Okay, mostly 3-letter symbols into binary data that can be executed by a processor. In the following example, like I'm using NASM assembler for Intel code and a XA assembler for 6502 code. Okay, so this are being converted in a very suitable manner. Okay, in a machine level it could be converted, but it is being written as what? In your mnemonics form. Mnemonics form could be converted in a binary form. This is known as what? Assembler. Now what do you mean by operating system? The operating system is the most important program that is used to run on a computer. Okay, like Windows is there. This all are what? Your operating system, which is very important for running your computer system. Now computer system is an interface between the computer and a user. If you don't have the operating system, then there is no connection between the computer and the user. And obviously if there is not operating system, then you could not run your application software as well. Okay, any software could not be run without your operating system. So it is a very important part for which becomes an interface between the computer and a user. It is responsible for management and coordination of activities and sharing of the resources of the computer. It is very responsible for managing your activities and sharing the resources of what? In the computer. Okay, next is your Operating system architecture, it has the architecture. See its architecture, like user gives the information to the application, as well as application also gives the information to user. Like user gives the information to application, then operating system, then hardware. So after hardware, the information moves to operating system, then application, then user. This is the system. Okay, user gives the information to application, like input is being done first to application, then operating system, then hardware. After that, the same process being reverted. This is what your operating system architecture. Next, functions of operating system. What are the various functions of operating system? See, process management, it is used to process our management. Memory management, all the memories are being managed through what your operating system. File management, every files, whatever the data has been fed in the file or the folders are being managed by what your operating system. Device management, for running your devices very smoothly, who is the responsible one? The operating system. Next, security, whatever the data are being stored, that should be secure. That all data managing part could be done through what your operating system. Now, job accounting. Job accounting means what? Like how many works are being performed at a time. So those accounting tasks are being done by what your operating system. We can do at a time 2 to 3 tasks, no? So those tasks are being managed by what your operating system. That is known as what? Our job accounting. There is a secondary storage management. Secondary storage management means what? That whatever data are being fed in our pen drive, that storage accounting or that storage management also could be done by what your operating system. This process management, like in what is a computer task? It comprises of 3 tasks, no? Input, process, and output. That processing task, like CPU task, is being done by what your operating system. Like booting is being done, no? So in booting is done in what? Through your operating system. Now, networking means what? Like connections are being connected correctly or not, that thing also being done by what your operating system. Now, coordination between other software and user, that thing also being done by what your operating system. So these are what your functions of operating system. So what are the how many functions operating system do? Total 10 functions are being done by what? Your operating system. Even there are many other functions as well, but that are being also included in this 10 functions. Okay. Next, types of operating system. There are various types of operating system. What are the types of operating system? First is single user, multi-user, multitasking, multiprocessing, embedded, and real-time. We'll see one by one all the types of operating system. Okay, now this is used for what? This distinguished by the response time and how data is entered into the system. For this, we used what? The types of operating systems. Okay, let's see. Single user operating system. As the name implies, this operating system is designed to manage the computer so that one user can effectively do one thing at a time. Next, multi-user operating system. A multi-user operating system is a computer system that allows multiple users at a time. Multiple user can work at a time, okay, in different computers to access a single system's operating system resources simultaneously. Next, multitasking operating system. Multitasking means what? Multitasking is an operating system that allows a user to perform more than one computer task. Okay, at a time we can perform more tasks at a time in one computer. Don't confuse between these two, multi-user and multitasking. What do you mean by multi-user operating system? It is a computer system that allows multiple users that are on different computer to access a single system operating system. Like we are sitting in 5 computer system, okay, but only one operating system are run in all the 5 computer system. Okay, I could say for this example as I could give the example for this as what? Yeah, N computing. In N computing, what happens now? There is one operating system, but at a time that particular one operating system could be run by 5 users. Okay, that is known as what? A multi-user operating system. And multitask means what? Multiple tasks like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, even games. We can play at a time 5 to 6 tasks at a time in one computer system. This is the basic difference between these two. Every time the students used to get confused between these two terms, multi-user and multitasking. Okay, so don't confuse between these two terms. Next is here multi-processing operating system. Multi-processing operating system means what? It is sometimes used to refer to the execution of multiple concurrent processes in a system. The program is execution is called what? Processes. It's, we can term this as what? Multitasking as well. Okay. Embedded operating system. Embedded operating system is an embedded systems operating system. Embedded systems are a specially designed computer system that essentially contains software and hardware for performing specific tasks like mobile phones, laptops, cameras, washing machines, ATMs, and hair straightener, etc. are examples of embedded operating system. Embedding means what? Getting the information from other, okay, or connecting the informations to other. Okay, so this system which is used to run, like I'm operating in computer system, but what I'm operating the card reader, okay, or I'm operating the laptop, or I'm operating the mobile phone. So that two processes are being embedded all together are known as what? Embedded operating system. Next is real-time operating system. It is used to control machinery or industrial systems, scientifically instruments, tasks where time deadlines may be forced to execute a task. Okay, there is some time task is being allotted. That is known as what? Real-time operating system. Or controlling the machinery part for by using the time. Okay, that is known as what? Real-time operating system. Next is language processor. Why we use language processor? It is generally write a computer program using a high-level language. High-level language means what? That language which is which we have to convert in what? In your machine language, and high-level language is the understandable by the human beings. Okay, this is called source code. Okay, high-level language is known as what? Source code. In the next chapter you will learn Python. So under Python we write codes. So that codes are known as what? Your source code. Next is your computer does not understand high-level languages, isn't it? High-level language could not be understood by what? Computer. So we need to convert it, okay, in machine language. Machine language is what? The languages in which only two terms are being used. That is what? 0 and 1. That is known as what? Binary. And that binary language is known as what? A machine code. To convert source code into machine code, we use either a compiler or an interpreter, which I have elaborated in a previous one. Compiler and interpreter are known as what? Language processor. Both compiler and interpreter are used to convert a program written in a high-level language into machine code understood by computer. But there is a difference between these two. Interpreter do what? Interpreter converts line by line. The code are being run line by line and used to convert it. But in compiler, what happens? It compiles all together and gives us the output. It does not go line by line and get the error. Okay. Next difference between the compiler and interpreter. See, translate program one statement at a time and scans the entire program translated as a whole into machine code. It takes less amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is slower because it translates one statement. That's why the execution time takes execution time is what? Slow. Now it takes large amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is comparatively faster. Why comparatively faster? Because it goes all together. That's why it becomes what? Faster. No immediate object code is generated, hence are memory efficient. Here it generates the immediate object code which further requires linking, hence requires more memory. Okay, there is an object code has been not generated, so memory efficient, there is no memory required, but here the object code is being generated, that's why some memories are being required. Next is continues translating the program until the first error is met. Okay, in which case it stops, hence the debugging is easy. It converts what? It the program can be translated one by statement at a time. That's why whenever we get the error, it stop at that particular point rather in the last. Okay, that's why we could met the error that where we have made the mistake, and that error could be cured. But here what happens, it generates the error message only after scanning the whole program. After the whole program generation, then only we get what, the error message. But we could not identify the debug, that where we have to change our code or where we received the error. It is very difficult to find out, but in interpreter we could get our error easily, and we can since we get the error easily, we can cure our errors. Okay, next, programming languages. Like what are the programming languages used in interpreter? Like Python is there, Ruby use interpreters. But in programming compiler, what program use? C++ uses what? Compilers. Next, application software. Application software projects are designed to satisfy a particular need of a particular environment. All software prepared in the computer lab may come under the category of what? Application software. What are the application software? Payroll software, student record, inventory management, income tax, railway reservation, Microsoft Suite software. Okay, Microsoft Word, Excel. This all are what? Your application software. Utility software. These are being designed to aid in analyzing, optimizing, configuring, and maintaining a computer system. It supports the computer infrastructure. This software focused on how an operating system functions, and then accordingly it decides its trajectory to smoothen the functioning of the system. Softwares like antivirus, disk cleanup, and management tool, compression tools, defragments, this all are what? Utility software. The software which is used to manage some other softwares are known as what? A utility software. Okay, like antivirus is there, WinRAR, zip files, that to make the zip file, that is known as what? Utility software. To open the PDF, that is known as what? Utility software. Adobe Reader, these are what? Utility software. Now thank you. After this much, our unit is completed. Okay.